everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's just Clarice, and in case you haven't noticed, I am somewhere different today. I am actually filming this from a hotel room here in Victoria, BC. I am on Vancouver Island for the weekend with my boyfriend. He has some work to do here and I'm just kind of tagging along. I didn't really get a chance to film before we left. Today is also supposed to be Friday's video. It's going up on Saturday instead because we were just in too much of a rush for me to actually do all this beforehand. And today's video is actually going to be a review of my March 2019 Ipsy bag. Again, this is going up pretty late for March, but essentially because I live in Canada, I usually get my Ipsy bag pretty late. Most people start to get it around the middle of the month. I don't get mine until like the end, and by then most of my videos are already filmed and ready to go. This time around it's going up super late just because I didn't really have a chance to film it. Anyways, without any further ado, let's dive on into today's video. So first things first, we're obviously going to review the bag like I do every single month. And this is what the bag looks like this month. It's super shiny and reflective. You can see that just off the natural light. And then it actually says, "And off she went to change the world." And the reason it says that is because March was apparently National Women's History Month. This is a really pretty bag. It's like rose gold with that reflect. It has a really nice blue zipper with a little star detail for the zipper. It's big enough that I could probably put some things in here for traveling, so it's great for like this trip. The pamphlet this month tells us everything that we got in the bag. So we got a primer, we got a bronzer, we got an actual foundation sample, and this is the first foundation I've ever received from Ipsy. So I'm very excited and nervous. We also got a highlight and a brush. Let's just get into it. And we're gonna start with the primer that I got in the bag. I actually already own this primer. This is the First Aid Beauty Hello Fab Coconut Skin Smoothie Priming Moisturizer, which is a lot of words. It basically just means that it is a primer and a moisturizer in one. It is supposed to be good for sensitive skin types as well. Here's the full size compared to the sample size. This is the one I already own. There are a couple of tiny little like glitter particles in it. It's really not overly noticeable at all. And if anything, it just gives your face a nice radiant look. For like everyday makeup or when I want to go more matte, it definitely does shine through. So I would warn you guys about that. It is extremely moisturizing. So if you have very dry skin, I actually would recommend trying this out. And I am just going to use the full size that I already own because I don't want to like open and waste product. The product itself is a little bit like pinky peach in color, and what I like to do is I just like to focus it in the areas of my face that tend to get a little bit drier, right near my brows, under my eyes, my cheekbones, my chin area, and right under my nose. I'm gonna smooth it over my smile lines too. Always helps to give a little extra hydration to the wrinkles. You can definitely see there is more of a sheen and a dew to my skin now because this is a very glowy priming moisturizer. So again, if you like that finish, it would be really nice. But the reason I don't like to go in all over my face with that moisturizer is because I do find it to be a little bit heavy, and I have an oily T-zone. So when I put it in this area specifically, my face tends to get oilier faster, the makeup tends to slide off. Instead, I'm actually going to go into my T-zone using my Maybelline Baby Skin Instant Pore Eraser Primer. And this is a good primer because it just sort of minimizes the appearance of pores, gives you a slightly blurred effect. And it is like a silicone-based primer, so I go in with a very tiny amount. Silicone-based primers aren't my favorite either, but they are really good for blurring and pore erasing, so I just focus it in the center. I tend to use more than one primer because my skin is kind of finicky. I have like different needs in different parts of my face. It's ridiculous. I'm ridiculous. Next up, we're gonna go in with the foundation. This is the YENSA Color and Face Skin on Skin BC Foundation BB plus CC plus Full Coverage Foundation plus 8 Superblacks Essence plus SPF 40. Again, a lot of words, but essentially this is supposed to be a very full coverage foundation that gives you the benefits of color correcting that you get in a CC cream, that gives you the beauty balm effects of a BB cream. Like, it's supposed to be very nice and feel soft and natural on the skin. Yeah, I don't know what to expect from this foundation, but I am a little bit nervous because they gave me the shade medium warm. A little bit nervous that this might be too dark on me. We can swatch a little bit on the back of my skin now to see what this is gonna look like. So that's what it is. It doesn't look too far off from my skin tone yet. I don't think it's gonna be too bad. So I'm gonna dump some out onto the back of my hand. I'm going to dip in with my brush, apply it to my skin, and we'll see how we feel. I am not loving how this looks on my skin. I'm gonna try to zoom you guys in, see if you can see that. Oh, you can't even really see it, but you can kind of see it near my mouth. It's just sort of sitting on top of my skin. It's not really blending nicely onto my face. It looks really makeup-y. I don't know if I like this foundation. Okay, I'm gonna go wet my sponge and I'm gonna try to apply it that way. We'll give it another shot. Uno momento. So I just went in with my whole face using the sponge, and I'm liking how it's looking better with the sponge application. It helped to sort of smooth out the product. It's not sitting on my skin as much, but if you can see, it's really hard to see, but you can still see it looks a little bit cakey. I'm seeing like enlarged pores sort of next to my nose. I'm not loving how it's sitting on my nose either, or right here in the center of my forehead where I get super dry. The color match, honestly, you can't really tell on camera. You can tell a little bit, but my face is definitely a lot warmer than my neck area. I am very much in the neutral undertone category, and this is very warm. I'm hoping I can fix it with some concealer. I don't think this foundation is for me. It's just very kind of all over the place. Yeah, I'm just not crazy about this foundation. Hey guys, so I just went in with my powders and I went in with some spray and, you know, did all the concealer, and it helped quite a bit. So I think that it looks a lot better. The finish is a lot better now, but that's just way too much work to have to go in with to make a foundation work. So that's definitely not for me, but you know, it could work for someone else. Everyone's skin is different. It just sat really weird on mine and didn't do all the things that I look for in a foundation. So I'm gonna take a quick break because I actually just got some food delivered to my room and I really want to eat it. But when I come back, I'm going to have brows on and my eyes are gonna be finished, and we're gonna move on to the next Ipsy bag product. Okay guys, we are back, and as you can see, my eyebrows and eye makeup are done. I actually like how it turned out. So the next product that we got in the Ipsy bag this month is actually a bronzer, and I'm pretty excited to try this because I've never tried any of the bronzers from this brand. This is one of Morphe's bronzers, and it's in the shade Debutante. Now these are typically the bronzers that you get in the Bronzer duo, so you get a bronzer and a contour shade, and I don't actually think that Morphe sells these bronzers individually on their website. I know that they just launched a new line of bronzers for the summer. I don't know if they're more like glowy or anything like that, but I've always wanted to try their original formula, so I'm excited to try that out today. Again, I don't know if this is going to be a good shade match for me or if it's going to be too dark or too warm. We're just going to have to try it out and see. So this is the half of my face that's bronzed, and this is the half that's not. So you can definitely see this side does look a lot warmer, and I do like the way that the color is showing up. It is very warm. I think this is going to be really good for summer, and I'm definitely liking how it's looking and how it's blending out. All good things. All good things. I'm really happy for the fact that I have this. And like, even for a sample size, that packaging is so nice and cute. Love it. So we only have 2 items left in the Ipsy bag this month. I'm going to show them kind of both at the same time. The first one is a tiny little detail brush by the brand slmissglam. I have received several eye brushes and even one face brush by this brand from Ipsy at this point. And I actually really like the quality of the slmissglam brushes. I think they're really nice and soft. They work really well. I don't notice any shedding even after washing them. So I really do like these brushes, and I really love this design. Super, super cute. This is supposed to be for like really tiny details, like inner corner highlight, or if you wanted to do a little smudge on your lower lash line. I'm going to be using it for inner corner highlight today. And that brings us to the last product in the bag this month, and that is a highlight. This is by the brand Estate. This is their Doomy Baked Highlight Powder, and it is in the shade Pearl. Now, I don't know if this would work on me as an actual highlight, because if you look at it, it is very, very bright white. The packaging is absolutely adorable. I think this is so cute, and it's so travel size friendly. I'm not even sure if this is a travel size or if it's supposed to be the full size. It is a baked highlight, which I do tend to like that formula, but as you can see, it's just so bright. I don't really have any major plans for today. It's kind of rainy outside, so I guess we can try it on my cheeks. But let's put it in the inner corners first and see if it works as an inner corner highlight. All right, so I'm gonna take that tiny little detail brush that we got in the bag, dipping it into the highlight, and let's see how this looks. Whoa, that is so reflective. Wow. And I actually really like this brush too. It's like the perfect size for getting right in the inner corner. So as an inner corner highlight, this is really nice. But given how white that looks, I don't know if this would work on my skin. Should we still try? I guess we should still try, right? Ooh, I'm so nervous. You know what? That actually looks really nice. It blends out really nicely on the cheeks. So like, if you wanted to pack it on and build it up as like a really intense highlight, you could. But I think you could also go in with a light hand and just have like a really nice pearly glow that's not overly white. Oh my gosh. This is exciting. I love highlight. I really love what people can do with highlight. The highlights that they give me in Ipsy always surprise me. I feel like I always expect it to go wrong. I always expect it to not suit my skin, or that it's just going to be like really streaky, and it always works out nicely. So thank you, Ipsy, for adding to my highlight collection. And it doesn't seem to be reflecting white on my cheek. If anything, it reflects more like purpley. Oh, very nice. A high five. All right, I'm just going to put on my lips, and I will be right back to wrap up with my final thoughts. So final thoughts on all of the products. The two that were my least favorites are probably the primer and the foundation. I do like the primer. Obviously, I own the full size, but it's definitely not my favorite primer, and mostly it's because I can only use it in a few localized areas. Again, if you had drier skin than me, you'd probably like that primer a lot more. The foundation it just doesn't work for me. Like, I'm gonna wear it for the rest of the day just because I'm too lazy to wipe it off. But it definitely doesn't look very good on my skin. I've had foundations that have looked a lot better. It's settling into all of my lines. You can still kind of see the pores, and in fact, I don't even love the way that powder sits on top of it. Even using a ton of setting spray, it's still sitting a little strange, especially in my dry patches, which is crazy because I've used moisturizer and that priming moisturizer, so I have to think that it's the foundation because I've used all the other like face products before and I've never had this issue. Not crazy about the foundation. I was, however, really pleasantly surprised by that highlight and by the bronzer. I love the way that the bronzer looks on my skin. It really brought a lot of warmth to my face without being overly dark, and I think it might even have a tiny bit of a sheen to it, which I love, especially for the summer. So I'm definitely going to go back to this when I am more my summer color, and that highlight looks really pretty and really beautiful. It definitely catches the light, as you can see. And it's not like overly powdery. It doesn't just sit on the skin. It's not glittery. It just looks really nice. And even though it's super bright in the pan, you can definitely build it up, like say in your inner corner if you want that bright white intensity, but it will also blend out on the skin really nicely, and you don't have to worry about having a white streak on your cheek. So love those. The brush is really nice quality, and I will be using it a lot in the future for inner corner highlight. But that is it. That is all I have for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I know it's coming out super late, but you know, sometimes life gets busy, and I am just gonna go enjoy the rest of my weekend here in Victoria, and I'll see you guys in my next video.